The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnny Maggs and Greg the Barbecue Broker DiGiorgio. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around a pit. As always, I'm joined by the Barbecue Broker.
Hi.
How you doing?
So far away today.
Deal with it.
I can't. It's hard for me. You know,
Something says you're going to get over this real
I
quick.
need to be able to smell you, John.
He's closest to the food.
I know. That's
love.
a dangerous position right there.
Oh, it
Here we
smells
go. Share the
delicious.
show.
Delicious.
Now we got this.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Hi. Woo. What a week.
Nice.
What a weekend.
This is a very exciting week for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The event Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We got my good friend, Mr. Jonathan Carney,
What's up, brother?
from the Hacking Gourmet,
Good to be here. Good to be here.
while
Thanks for
making
having me
his
on.
triumphant return.
Mm-hmm.
A lot has changed over the last year since I was on here last.
Oh, for sure.
For me, the difference here is your co-host is here.
Yep.
I was solo last year, so
Yeah,
you and
solo,
I,
it was just
you and
me
I
and you.
ate 2 steaks alone and
Yeah, we
drank
did.
like 2 bottles of wine.
That's what I told him. I go,
You won't have that
he goes,
problem this
He goes,
time.
what's this? What's today? I go, do me a favor. I go, eat before you come. What do you mean? I go, just get a base. I go, last time we tore through 2 bottles of wine in 45 minutes. He goes, what? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, he didn't know what to say.
It's giddy.
When I'm around the pit, there's always wine and there's always a ton of steak and cigars. So like when John invites me on, this I just bring what I do when I'm home to the stage. So it should be a good time. We've got some fun stuff here. Hacking Gourmet. I'm obviously my day job is La Flor Dominicana Cigars, but Hacking Gourmet was something fun we started over the pandemic, and this is a big week for us too. I've got a huge event on Thursday that we're launching, a thing called the Gourmet Smoke Sessions, which I'm sure we'll get into. So big weeks here on the panel.
Yeah. Huge weeks. So we did our this Saturday was the Long Blue Cat New England Pitmaster Beer Collaboration Celebration Fundraiser event.
That sounds like something like I would name. I'm known in the cigar industry for providing long names for products.
Yeah. Basically, it was all that.
We got the crowd over here like, you do.
Yeah.
So I respect the hell out of that name.
It was all that. You know, it was all that in one. You know, we the guys at the Long Blue Cat Brewery, they did a beer called Q Session, and the New England Pitmasters logo on there, a little collab. And so we did the event to celebrate. You know, we raised some funds for our prospective local charities, and we smoked like 250 pounds of meat. It was awesome. Did the all-nighter thing, took naps here and there, had a mobile kitchen to work out of. All in all, it was a huge success. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Jason, for hosting the event. It was awesome. Can't wait to do it again next year. The food was good, obviously.
That's right.
Cooked a lot, man. So yeah, it was an awesome weekend, man. It was
Fantastic.
awesome.
This is phenomenal.
I love a good LaFleur.
This is phenomenal.
So the one we got here today, this is a more medium-bodied cigar. This was designed about 6.5 years ago to be a yearly change cigar. So it was supposed to be different every single year, and it was supposed to be at our events in that any given year. However, the first one we did was a Lonsdale, which is a real skinny cigar. It was really good. It was just smaller. You had somebody that bought like a 60 ring gauge, a big fat cigar, and you gave them this little tiny cigar, and you had to explain to them why it was the best way to taste tobacco. And the person that wants a big cigar is like, I don't care. Like, I want a big cigar so I can smoke for 2.5, 3 hours. So we switched over to this medium-sized one, and it came back year after year because people wanted it to stay the same, and it started its own little cult following. So this has been in our rotation now for about 7 years. We have no plans of changing. As I said, people have really attached to it, and it's been a great smoke. It's medium-bodied. It was made to not intimidate a milder smoker, but not patronize somebody who smoked fuller-bodied cigars. So it's right down the middle. But it's called the Unreleased.
Nice. Yeah, this is fantastic. And whether we are barbecuing or not, we always keep the smoke rolling thanks to our friends at twoguyscigars.com. Today we're smoking the LFD Unreleased. Thanks to our friends at twoguyscigars.com, we get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit twoguyscigars.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number 2guyscigars.com.
We're going to fire the teleprompter guy.
John Burgundy over here.
Where's the teleprompter guy?
I was about to grab him.
Be a minute before. It's going to be a couple weeks.
Well, I'm watching it rotate down, and I was about to grab him. They're about to punk you.
That was like I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yeah.
And we also have a very large and big announcement.
Huge announcement.
Huge announcement.
Huge down here.
Yeah, in front of you. Watch out, don't get no ash on the steak.
Oh, don't be an asshole. Let's go. Tell him. What do we got?
We are happy to announce
So happy.
our new sponsorship with our good friend Steve Brown from the one and only Uncle Steve Shake out of Texas.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family, brother. Thank you so much. And we got his entire line, the original, the thick meat, the spicier, the sweet and spicier. This should be the Gator Shake.
That's spicier.
No,
too.
that's the spicier.
I moved some things around.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh boy, you set this up.
Shake and
I've got the competition cow powder that I cooked with, so that's out of
we
order.
did
We
these,
got
you
in
did
the new
these
bird
steaks
powder that we got right here.
with the competition cow powder.
Yep.
The original competition line was the competition pig powder, Daddy Dutch approved.
Daddy Dutch approved.
But
And
yeah, look at these damn steaks.
in the new one, the competition bird powder. Delicious.
So when I come on anything, I like to prepare food. That's how I like to enjoy my time. So to make it a tradition, I think last year we did some dry aged beef.
Yep.
We did something a little different this time. By we, I mean me. But I guess us as a team, we're going to devour it. So I wanted to do something a little different. We did a 70-day dry age last year, and we did a 50-day dry age. Came out perfect. But this year we've got a prime ribeye. So we got a prime ribeye that I bought several months back. The reason I wanted to use this is because I've had this frozen for about 3 months, and I wanted you to see that steak can be frozen and brought back to life.
Okay.
And that's a great way.
A lot of debates about that.
Yeah, and it really
Yep.
can.
Yep.
So I had that, and that was during the pandemic when we were in the thick of it. They said there's a beef shortage, so I bought from everybody on the planet.
I was too.
And you can see one of my sponsors on my hat that's down in Miami. But we got prime ribeye here, and then we've got a choice bone-in cowboy ribeye. The reason I picked this is because that was a choice ribeye that I'd found at the grocery store. And if you dig around, you can find steaks that are graded above of what they should be, what they're listed. So this here was really, in terms of marbling, was a prime beef cut. So I picked that one so we could smoke, so we could actually try a choice ribeye, which had really high marbling, and I believe would be close to a prime grade, and then an actual prime grade side by side. And then we seasoned it with some Mediterranean smoked sea salt, and then we used some of the Uncle Steve's Shakes competition cow powder in some olive oil, and I just doused it over the top of that. But I do a tempered cook, which is what we talked about, what I'm famous for in the cigar business, is what that is extreme high heat for a very short period of time and long resting periods.
Okay.
These steaks here cooked for an hour total. The preparation time was an hour. We're actually about an hour and 10 minutes now because they're on their final rest. We'll get into them in about 5 minutes.
Can't wait.
But they only took heat for 6 minutes out of that hour and 10 minutes. So they were only receiving heat for 6 hours and 10 minutes, 6 minutes
hours.
out of the 10 minutes. And those should come out perfectly medium rare. So we'll see when we cut into them. But yeah, so we brought some great prime beef and a choice cowboy ribeye.
Fantastic.
It just smells like so damn delicious.
Oh, and we got wine.
I'm just right here.
Yeah, we might as well start drinking the wine. Can you pass that bottle
sir?
opener over
What do
there?
we
Yeah,
have?
what do we got this
Absolutely.
time?
So
I'm gonna
this
have
is
you back next week.
Because
and the week after.
for the life of me, I can never
After that?
remember the name.
we had Stag's Leap last year.
Stag's Leap.
Yeah, that's my
the
favorite.
one.
It's my favorite.
It was delicious.
Ooh, that is a good one.
So this is an Italian, a Tuscan wine, Italian wine. This is called Pittoresco. I've never tried this before. I've never had it. I'm not familiar with it. It came in the wine club that I'm a member of, and it arrived yesterday. So I figured I'd bring it down here. This is 50% Cab, 25% Merlot, 12% Petit Verdot, and 12% Cab Franc. I like Cabernet, so this will be right up my alley. So yeah, but I have no idea about it. Know nothing about it. I have no idea what the price is. So if it's pricey, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Last year I was trying to be a jerk. I mean, I think those were like $100 bottles of wine last year.
But they were I'll tell you, they were worth it.
It was ridiculous.
All right.
Shortly after that, I came down with a balance disorder. Who knows if it had anything to do with that, show.
No, because before that show, you actually had some tests done.
Yeah, and it came back, and I don't mind talking about my medical history. I had a balance disorder. It felt like I was on a cruise ship all the time.
That's
for about 13 months.
Now hold on. Now I just had this problem. What's
the
it called?
vertigo.
The vertigo. Was it vertigo?
Yeah, well, it was, but it's unique because it's non-spinning. So there was no spinning. It just felt like your whole body.
Wow.
And it's unique because your balance is affected by like your thoracic spine, your neck, the muscles in your head, your chest. So you have these sensations of, like, I thought I was having a stroke or dying literally every day, 24 hours a day. However, the things that are bad for it are red meat, red wine, cigars, and caffeine. Sorry, not cigars, nicotine and caffeine. And I do all of those things.
Well, just add all wood smokers to that as well.
But I've made a full recovery. I'm back to normal, and the only thing I had to leave out was caffeine. So we're in good shape.
That's fantastic.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so this was, when I had seen your post about your event, which, we'll talk about, I'm like, oh, does this mean you're in town? Yes, I am. I go, ooh.
Well, it was
funny. Want to do a show on Tuesday?
I was talking to Ben, the producer here, last week, and I didn't forget on my calendar, but I forgot in my head because that's why I have a calendar. So I'm sitting with Ben, and he goes, you should come on the Pit Life BBQ show. I'm like, oh, I've been on before. I go, a little over a year ago, it was right before he started, and he's like, oh, we'll have to get you on again sometime. I'm like, oh, that'd be great. He's like, I'll talk to John, and then I was like, wait a minute, like I'm going to be on there in like 6 days.
Yeah.
It was perfect timing, perfect week to come here and to promote what we've been doing. I said a lot of things have changed in the last 8 months for me on regards to culinary stuff. And this Thursday is the culmination of all of it and our launch of our gourmet smoke sessions from Hacking Gourmet and teaming up with La Flor Dominicana and my meat purveyor, Meat and Bone, out of Miami. Cheers, gentlemen.
Yes, cheers, brother. Excellent.
These are expensive. Cheers, I took Dave's expensive wine glasses.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, real nice. Definitely Italian. Yeah. You can tell Italian wines.
Look at those legs. Mm-hmm.
Oops. Making a mess already.
That is nice.
Beautiful.
So, like we were saying, you've been a busy boy this year. And now it's been a hell of a year, first off, with the whole COVID, which pretty much basically shut down the cigar industry. Mm-hmm. I know Dave here at Two Guys, they were doing the curbside and everything, but you being a VP of marketing, of sales
and marketing, it gets big. The job title changes daily. Trust me.
I always see your posts of I'm heading to Dallas, I'm heading to Arizona, I'm on California. You're everywhere. Then all of a sudden, you can't go nowhere. So you're up in Maine.
Yeah, so I legally live in Miami, but my family's from Maine. Okay. So I'm on my doctors and things that I do up there, dentists, you name it, friends, family. So I was up for a doctor's appointment right at the beginning of COVID. And when all the lockdowns happened, I just happened to be there, which turned out to be the best place on the planet to be during any type of lockdown. Mm-hmm. My town has 2,400 people in it. My condo in Miami has 2,300.
So in the association, in the building.
So it was a perfect place to be because you're socially distanced. There was restrictions and things, but there was no restrictions in my backyard. And as soon as it warmed up, it was a great time to be out back. I did tons of grilling. We started the Hacking Gourmet show, which is, a lot of people say podcast. It's not a podcast. It is designed to be a live broadcast show.
You're jumping ahead.
So, but the COVID
you had started the quarantine grilling.
Yeah, we started as quarantine grilling, and it started with my friend Brian McGee from out in Texas. And I just called him. I was like, "Hey, man," I'm like, because we competed in some cooking competitions together. He coincidentally beat me, which can I swear on the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
But he's got this championship belt he carries around now. But he's a good friend. He's a Marine, so we brought him on the show. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to do a cooking show with me?" And I said, "We'll call it Quarantine Grilling." I go, "We'll see where it goes. It'll just be something fun to do because there was nothing going on."
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, because you're trying to get the lay of the land. It was going to be flat in the curve, and then it's cure, and so who knows what the time frame was? Still, who knows what the time frame is? But so we started the show, and then we had a guest. Our first guest on the show was a man, Fred Rui, who was from the cigar industry before, but he has
Nomad Cigars.
Cigars. Yep, but he has other business ventures that he's involved in. He's kind of got his hands in a bunch of different things, and he used to be a stand-up comedian. And we invited him, and I'd seen him the week before in Orlando, where he lives. We just hung out when I was on vacation the week before that, and before the pandemic started. So once it loosened, not when it loosened up, when we got locked down, Fred was like, "Oh, I'd love to come on the show as a guest," and he said, "It would be great to have you." And then we had some success with it, with him on the show. So we invited him. We said, "We can't pay you anything, but we'd love to have you part of what we're doing." So Quarantine Grilling was born and transitioned into what it is today.
Were you grilling? Were you doing this before the quarantine? Were you into cooking? And
I've been doing
you've been doing this for a while.
Well, I grew up in the restaurant business, first of all.
Oh, you
My
did? Okay.
family owned 3 restaurants. I started cooking in the restaurants when I was 12.
Okay.
I worked in them off and on when I was 8 and 9, just bussing tables to stop driving my dad nuts.
Yeah.
But no, so I grew up in the restaurant business. I'd always my background was restaurants. My major in college was hospitality management. I have started a master's degree in business, but then I found the cigar industry, which was great. So I didn't have to do that any longer. I hated grad school; it was miserable. Coincidentally, it was during the housing crisis, so
I hated
it's like
school in general.
Yeah, it was awful. It sucked.
College was brutal.
Brutal. It sucks. Hate it.
I wish I never went in a way, but yes, I don't regret it. But I'm not doing anything that requires a degree right now. So
when I got into premium cigars, I started doing in-store cooking events. We had a program called A Night in Santiago, and I'd travel around as a sales rep and cook Dominican-style dinners or different themed dinners at each shop and do events because it was something that was fun. It was different, and I got tired of sitting there asking people, "Hey, do you want this spice? Buy one, get one free. You want this cigar? Buy 2, I'll give you one." That's not an event or an experience to me. So we started doing that in 2011, and it just kind of grew into doing more and more of them. When I got promoted into this role, I started doing some steak presentations. I started traveling more, so I started experiencing different culinary dishes around the country in different places. Started creating kind of my own style with my cooking rather than just kind of making everything. And it led into the last 5 years really doing steak-focused events. And the main reason we started Quarantine Grilling with Brian and I was Brian and I had multiple steak competitions lined up where we were going to travel around together and do brand versus brand, steak versus steak in Texas, where he's from. So it was one of them was planned right around the time that COVID happened. So I said to him, we might as well do this. And then when I started spending time on it, I'd always been known online for food, so when we started having a lot of traction, a lot of excitement, I was like, wait a minute, eventually we're going to be out there doing other things. How can we translate this into something in a unique niche market that our followers and customers can latch onto? And then how can we present something that's a unique experience? Because we had fun with it. So we're having fun. How do we bring that fun to everyone else? So that's where the Hacking Gourmet was born and the gourmet sessions.
I like it.
So yes, to answer your question.
You've been doing this for
Yes, I was doing this before.
Good to know.
Let me have some more to drink. I'll talk a little more.
But it's every 2 weeks is a new episode on Mondays, 5 p.m.
So we do our live shows are the second and fourth Monday of every month. So for example, in between now our last show, which was last week, and our next show will be about 3 weeks because there's five full weeks in November. So we do the second and fourth Monday of each month. So we have about 24 episodes a year. This year we'll have more because we were doing it every week when it was Quarantine Grilling. We switched over to second and fourth Monday of each month in July when we changed the name to Hacking Gourmet.
Yeah, because that threw me off because I'm sitting there on Mondays going, where the hell is he? What is it? I know he's today is Monday, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. John,
Yeah, so we switch back. But yeah, second and fourth Monday of each month, we go live at 5 o'clock on Facebook Live, and then it streams on demand on YouTube at Hacking Gourmet, and it's also available on our website, hackinggourmet.com. And the same thing with our gourmet sessions. I know we're getting into that, but those are still streaming on those networks, and I can explain that a little bit more going forward with that. But yeah, live episodes second and fourth Monday of each month. Nice. Different themes. We knock off movie covers. Coincidentally, I had a copyright infringement issue last week. Yeah, which we won. I own the license for some music, and they didn't think I owned the license. I presented it several times, and YouTube finally allowed me to put it up yesterday. I thought the first copyright or trademark issue we had would have been all the movie covers I've been knocking off. But apparently there's this law, a parody law. And I've always joke around. I'm like, it's a parody because I'm knocking off the cover, but the show itself is also a joke half the time. We joke around, we have a great time, and we're just a bunch of guys hacking and making good dishes and trying to show and bring great things that you can see out in high-end restaurants and bring it to your house and bring it to your backyard and prepare it in your own kitchen. There's ways to do these things, and you can have great meals. And today, that was the reason why I brought the prime ribeye I've got here is a $50 cut of beef. This is a $18, $19 steak on the left. I'm not saying that's inexpensive, but when we get into this here, I'll start cutting in a bit. You're going to get to see for $20, you can eat a $60 meal. And if you went out to a restaurant, it'd be $100. So you can really do that at home and have a great experience. And it was perfect timing with COVID. I mean, the largest growing segment of entertainment was food entertainment over the lockdown, because people were forced to make food at their house, or they were forced to get takeout. And, so you either got takeout and picked everything up or had everything delivered to you, or you started to learn to cook. So there was an area where people started to, buy different products. The online food shipping companies like HelloFresh and things like that were huge. So it was really perfect timing to get it started. And as we transition out of this slowly, it's perfect timing to bring it in person to cigar consumers. Yeah,
that was like our friend.
I'm going to start cutting here, guys. I can't handle it.
Tab and Chef Bobby
cutting already. My God. Everyone's freaking
put
out.
Together
Eat
packages
some meat.
For butcher packages, steaks, breakfast packages, things like that. But he also has between the Tuckaway Tavern and Hops and Grind, he started putting burger packages together. So you'd have like 4 or 6 burgers with everything that they would use in the restaurant, and you would make them yourself at home. Because just like you're saying, people were literally learning how to cook. And, so things like that were fantastic. What are you doing?
I was taking a selfie live.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God.
Any rules against that?
Look how perfect this is again.
That is.
Look at this guy.
So all these people, this is a pit show. I like that because I'm a big fan of fire. This is a chef. His name is Francis Malman, and he's Argentinian, and he cooks with like extreme heat and fire. And I just think fire is the best way to cook. And whenever you have heat, controlled heat, tempered cooking, which really smoking is that as well. It's a slow tempered cook. You're going to get some fabulous flavors. And the sous vide world, there's a place and time for it. But you
do any much sous vide?
Not really. And the place and time is never. And the place is now, not now, not here, whatever it means. But we're going to bite into this. So let's see. Grab at it. Oh, man.
John, if you want to even use a fork.
Oh, hell no.
I just brought those to make it look like we're being healthy. So that's the prime. It's killer.
Which is tremendous.
Oh, my God. Yep.
Now we're going with the choice. That seasoning's excellent.
Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic. The entire line. It goes on anything.
That was pretty damn good.
Literally anything. Gator shake on popcorn. The sweet and spicier on ice cream.
Both my sons asked if I could get a large shaker of the Gator Shake for popcorn.
Oh, it's
and mac and cheese they're putting it on now. That's a new one.
Put it on anything. I had ramen the other day.
Put that shake on anything.
Thick meat.
All right, what do we got now?
All right, so this one here on the right, we'll get pictures posted online of this. This is the choice.
The choice.
Choice Angus bone-in cowboy. Texture is going to be slightly different. Flavor's killer on it.
Oh boy. This is just turned into an ASMR video.
I know. I was just going to say, the chillin'.
So good.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, that piece was...
So, yeah, like you said, the
Lights
texture
out.
is different. It's not too far off.
So the big difference, so if you look here, the spinalis is the top part of the rib cap.
Wow.
So if you look right here, see this piece of fat?
Yep.
The big difference when you're looking at choice, prime, wagyu, or whatever, is if you have big fat like this here, you want that fat to be spread throughout the muscle. So you notice in the prime one that we have here, that section of fat's not really there. It's smaller. You can see.
I was looking on this.
And that means that the
recently.
fat is spread throughout the muscle better. So that's really what you're looking at for the marbling. So whenever you see a big piece of fat, that's usually going to be a lower grade cut of beef.
That rib cap is the best part of the whole.
Oh, it's like
Yeah. I'm going to just grab this piece right here. It's just looking at me. Ben, do you want a piece of steak? Ben?
Sure.
Audience, come up and grab some steak too
Is
before
there a
we
napkin for Ben?
Can you
before we kill
Let me
it.
give him
can
I'll
you
get this.
move the tray back to where it was for a second?
Yeah, we need to get a zoom in for...
I can move it in while I grab another piece.
Ben, you get that?
Yeah, like you said, the texture is slightly different, not much. You have a little variance in the color. The choice is a little darker.
I'll show it this way here. How's that? There we go. With the bone.
You got
All
it in
right.
there, Ben?
Ben, let me have an extra napkin for Ben. Here we go, buddy. Get one of these ones here. And get one of these ones here.
I'll help him out.
Oh boy. There you go, Ben. Gotta feed the producer, right? There you go, buddy.
So normally I'm just a salt and olive oil guy because I like the meat to stand out. But I will say that rub that we used on it is delicious. So this is a really different steak experience than what I normally have in regards to seasoning. And I didn't season the steak with it before. I actually marinated it essentially in the olive oil and then heated it up and poured it over the top. So it's really like a dipping oil. Fantastic.
Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, the way you cook it, like you said, with the longer periods of rest, short time taking heat, really does...
I don't know if you can zoom right in on
Change
that
in the-
piece right there.
Zoom in on the meat, Ben. How's your meat?
We're testing that camera out.
Look at it,
So
it's
right here
almost
in the middle, you can see the marbling. If you can see close, the method of tempered cooking, because we're not eating this hot. We're eating it slightly
man
above
down.
room temperature.
Casualty.
This has a little bit of marbling. What that allows to do is the resting allows the moisture to absorb back into the muscle. So if you looked at this cutting board here, there's not juice flowing out of the steak. The moisture is in the muscle. It's captured in there. This is just the oil that we have around it. So that keeps steak. It wants to be eaten.
It does. It does. This piece wants to be eaten right here.
So with tempered cooking, you're not losing moisture. You're also not cutting it until it's fully rested. So you're not cutting it hot. When you cut beef right directly off a cast iron pan or any type of pan, or right when it's been heated, if you look at it, it's actually a little bulbous. And then when you cut it, the moisture comes out.
Yep.
If you let it rest back down and flatten out, that moisture is being drawn back in. The moisture is where the flavor's at. That moisture, that fat's being absorbed back into the muscle. And the tempered cooking technique really gives you great flavor. So I tell some people are brought up like, I want to eat my food hot. Steak, don't eat it hot. If you're eating it hot, you're
not waiting
losing
for
flavor.
crust.
Your flavor is going to be on your pan here or on your cutting board. You got to wait for that to absorb back into the muscle, so you have a really complete and complex flavor to it.
Just like a brisket. So you're letting it rest. Now, have you ever cooked a picanha?
It's one of my favorite cuts.
Oh, dog, let me tell you. We did a smoked, reverse seared flamethrower picanha this past weekend. We smoked it till about 120 internal. Threw it over the live fire. While we're reverse searing the bottom, we took the Texas match to the top and just melted that fat cap right down. It was something.
Oh, we do have a question for you, there, Greg.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Do you know what? He's busting my chops.
Do you know what 270 degrees
So the guy
is?
pulled an epic stunt on me this weekend. I get up from my...
No, hold on.
What?
Hold on. Before
What?
you preface this off, because I was trying to send it to Ben, but everything on that page, no one can share nothing. You can only like or comment on any P.
Well, it's a private group, that's why.
Because I was going to take that video, send it to him, and we were going to play it live over the air.
I could have had Phil West just text it to you. I think Phil.
Greg is obsessed with cooking with wood and
Love my
temperature fluctuation.
Ben loves my wood.
You know, if it fluctuates 2 or 3 degrees, he has a kitten over in the corner. Okay? So the boys decided they're going to play a little game with young Gregory.
When I ran to the to get a coffee.
Yeah. Go ahead. Take it from there.
The old Celsius trick. I come back, and we're talking, and I just peek over at the digital thermometer, and I'm looking. There's 2 of them, one for each side of the ProPort. It's 124 degrees. I say, hey, what? I look at the other one, 122 degrees. I said, okay. I said, does anyone know what temperature we're at right now? They're like, what do you mean? Like 280. I go over, I open up the friggin' firebox. The fire was dull. I said, we're at 222 right now. You guys freaking kidding me right now?
No, you were down. You said 180 something.
I'm sorry, 122. 122.
Now, mind you, at this point, he's holding a shovel, and he is ready to bash heads in.
I leave for 2 seconds, and you let it drop 100 damn degrees. I go, Greg. Check it again. And before I even checked it, it just clicked. I go, do you guys do Celsius? And then, we did it. They changed it to goddamn Celsius.
And he's sitting there bashing the shovel off the concrete. He was so pissed.
All you got to do is tend the fire when I'm gone. That's it. A little obsessed.
So
awesome prank, and I loved it. It was great.
It's one of those ones once you really think of it,
Yeah.
you know you're getting pranked.
It was awesome. Dude.
But in the moment you're in fear.
It was, It was.
So you'd asked about Picanha, which is essentially top sirloin. It's a huge South American cut. Picanha is awesome because it's got so much fat.
Yeah.
And the higher grades of Picanha, you know, we were talking about the fat on the ribeye here. The higher grades of Picanha have a thinner fat cap because the fat is absorbed is more in the muscles. It's spread thin. That's what Japanese Wagyu beef. They massage the muscles to get the fat and break it open so it can absorb it into the to the muscle portion. So yeah, but that's ridiculous.
That was just a slice from basically the middle. That I trimmed my fat cap down because I don't do the rotisserie. I don't have a rotisserie, so I smoke and reverse sear mine. I do trim my fat caps down so they're kind of pretty even all the way across.
Yeah,
I don't want some of them come with huge fat caps, and those are really good if you're cooking them on a rotisserie and they're melting down into everything. But if you're just doing it kind of the reverse sear way, I find trimming it down and and that's trimmed down. I mean, come on, how much do you really need on
beautiful.
that? Yeah,
I've been doing. I've had a lot in the last few months of picanha steaks, where they'll cut the picanha up before and then you cook it as a regular steak. Just delicious.
That's the reverse sear right there. That's the only way to
show the class.
Can you?
So it's a blowtorch, which, by the way,
it's a little blurry. It's probably
is a great way to get a sear. It gets an incredible crust on it.
Yep.
Oh man,
like a creme brulee.
This is the problem when I come on the show, though. For you guys, is all we really want to do is eat. Why are you asking me questions? Jeez. Yeah, you want to try some of this?
A little bit of thyme. Yeah.
There is.
Yep.
And rosemary.
Rosemary. Yep. Phenomenal.
Wow. But yeah, picanha is awesome. One of the other
beef coulette.
Yeah, one of the other underrated cuts of beef is tri-tip. Tri-tip's awesome.
Love a good tri-tip.
Yeah, another one is you go up in the grading, it gets better and better. In terms of cooking as a steak. Tri-tip smokes great. It's awesome. So it's fun on our show. Brian McGee does much more smoking than I do. The reason why, I'm super impatient.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm right with you, bro.
Which is why it's interesting to people when I do a tempered cook. But when I'm tempered cooking, I'm usually eating something else at the same time.
Yeah.
It's got a very earthy taste to it.
And it does.
Almost like a umami-ish.
It really is. So that umami that you're talking about, some of these steaks, if you take soy sauce and dip a little bit on it, it really gives you that full umami. And this is awesome. This is really good. I don't like putting a lot of seasoning on steaks. I'm going to pick up some of that stuff because it's really good. The reason I don't like a lot of seasonings on steak, thank you, I know a guy. The reason I don't like putting seasonings like garlic, pepper, herbs, spices, and stuff on steak is it burns. I don't want a burnt taste on my meat. So I usually just go really traditional Italian style, which is olive oil and salt. Because I don't want the steak to be burnt. I want the meat to perform as well as it can. However, the way I prepared this today, it didn't burn any of the spices, any of the herbs. It's kind of like dipping bread into olive oil with it's delicious.
Well, here's the thing: you don't really need to put all the herbs on it when you can just butter baste it and put all the herbs beside it and not burn them on into the crust, right? I think, right? So all it really needs is salt. And for all my beef, whatever I'm ever doing for beef, always gets rubbed with olive oil, no matter what I do. Always gets olive oil. My briskets do as a binder. My steaks do for any seasoning. In all my ribs and my pork butt, olive oil. I find it doesn't clump up as much like mustard does, personally. So, yeah, I'll take this one right here.
So what?
Yeah, thank you.
Also, since we've eaten this,
come again.
Anyone that tells me frozen beef isn't this, shut up.
Yeah.
As long as you freeze it immediately fresh, get it very frozen, make sure it's packaged correctly. Red meat will last for a very long time. So if you order from a meat purveyor that it comes in semi-frozen, they're doing you a favor because it's actually maintaining that freshness. Now, at the same time, you've got to thaw it properly. I thawed these on my car ride down. It was 4 straight hours of thawing. They were not at room temperature when I did it, but it slowly thawed out. So you got to thaw properly.
You have to freeze properly too, though.
Exactly.
It's almost equally as important because if you're just going to come home with the meat in that little styrofoam boat thing and you're just going to throw it in your freezer, I'm telling you, if it's there for more than a couple weeks, it's going to get freezer burned. It's no good. You got to at least get some butcher paper. I'm talking about the waxed butcher paper. Wax on the inside, fold it up. That's what the butchers put it in. Straight up put that.
And you also need the proper freezer too.
Yep.
Like there's some modern freezers that don't stay at the same temperature where they fluctuate to avoid freezer burns. So what it does is thaws things out. So what you really need is a deep freezer. Like this needs to go in properly wrapped, properly frozen, and it will last. I bought this 4 months ago.
You get the meat sweats right now.
Oh fuck yeah!
No, I just want to point this out. I'm actually not sweating. Let this be known. I am not. History. There is someone else in this room sweating, and it's not me. It's usually me.
Great. I run hot, man.
Always, dude.
I run real hot.
Is this my spirit animal for some weird reason right here?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I run wicked hot, bro.
I am not. Maybe I'm not eating enough meat or something.
Well,
let me see.
You only had 2 or 3 pieces. I've been eating throughout the conversation here, so I haven't eaten today.
That bone has your name on it.
Well, this is going to be dessert. We're going to show you the best cut.
I'm not touching that bone. That's all you.
So we got enough for all of us to have a little bit of dessert here. This piece right here on the bone is one of the best flavors you can get.
If you think I'm biting into the same bone as you,
I'm not going to bite in. We got this nice sharp knife here that we're going to get into.
Maybe if it wasn't a pandemic or anything, I could
please.
Not that we're not sitting inches apart right now.
So
that's awesome. Thank you for bringing that. That was phenomenal.
Thursday night's event. I'm looking through the other side of the studio here, and we got tables set up. We got place settings, and I also see a Blackstone sitting in there. Ooh. So what do we got going on?
The biggest
Thursday?
favor that the pandemic did to me was before the pandemic started, we had an event planned in March or April. It was going to be called the Wood Butcher Steakhouse event. This is before quarantine grilling. I have another.
Johnny, the lighter.
I think we should whisper and just chew into it. This means so good.
I think our ratings will go up.
I'm making a steak ASMR channel now.
So we had this Wood Butcher Steakhouse event thing planned because I said I was doing cooking events. My friend Aaron with Wood Butcher, which is the block we're on right now, this one's been heavily used, and I don't take care of it very well. I use it outdoors.
I like those handles.
But it's in great shape. I'll tell you, for what I put this through, this is an amazing shape. But we had this Wood Butcher Steakhouse event that we were going to do here. It was like a 9-course meal, and I was going to prepare all of it. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Doing a 9-course meal for like 50 people for like $100. And I was like, it's crazy. So that canceled that, but it kept the wheels churning in my head. And I said, we smoke cigars. We like wine. We like drinks, charcuterie. I'm like, how do we do a dining experience with the cigars and involve Hacking Gourmet at the same time? Because I could do a cigar event and have food and stuff, but it's just a cigar event with food. But we have different brands now that we brought into it. So we have the Hacking Gourmet brand, which is a representation of gourmet food, gourmet preparation, and it's something people can follow. And they can relate with us because we're in the cigar business, but it's something separate from our cigar life. It's not just about coming in and buying cigars. It's I want to have a great experience with everybody. So Hacking Gourmet allows us to do that. La Flor Dominicana obviously provides the great cigars. So we have 2 experiences there. So the next thing I needed was I needed a meat purveyor. So we started this show and we started talking like we're not really looking for sponsors. We're looking for actual partners that want to do these things with us because in reality, once we start getting out there, because the gourmet sessions were born as a 16-month program. It's actually a cycle. And then when that's over, we'll develop some other programs around it with Hacking Gourmet. And then, fortunately, at LFD, Tony and Lito are very culinary driven as well. So there's a bunch of ideas they have. We have ideas for a cookbook. Unfortunately, one of the companies beat us to it. We don't have a marketing department. I am the marketing department. So they beat us to the cookbook, which is fine, but we're going to have a better cookbook. So we're going to be doing that next year. But the gourmet session was born to bring that all together. And the last thing we needed was a meat purveyor. So I ordered some steaks during the meat shortage. And from a place called Meat and Bone online. I wanted a beef tenderloin, and I couldn't get one anywhere. So I jumped on online, and I searched, and this place called Meat and Bone showed up. So my beef tenderloin came out. I was like, man, this is pretty reasonably priced. It was like a 6-pound beef tenderloin prime for like $130. It was steel.
Nice.
So it shipped up, and the package shows up, and it's like Miami, Florida. I'm like, that address looks like familiar. It's like 2 miles down the street from my office.
Wow. No way.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is interesting. So we started buying some stuff from them over the pandemic, and then we started featuring it a little bit on the show. And then I went and visited their boutiques down in Miami, and they're really like a boutique. Like you walk in, they give you a steak presentation. You pick the steaks you want. They show you the ones they have for the day. It's like buying a watch. Like go to the Apple store, and they lay out the products. Like that's what it's like. They lay out the steaks they have for the day, and you pick the ones you want. So I just out of a whim shot an email to their contact me portion on their website. And one of the owners called me up, and he was like, hey, he goes, oh man, he's like, I love cigars. He's like, I didn't tell him what brand I worked for. I didn't want to like pull any weight or anything. I just wanted if somebody was legitimately interested in being part of what we were doing. I didn't even tell him the whole program in the email. It was just, this is what we're looking at doing. We're looking at doing some events. And so he calls me up, and he was in Mexico City because his wife was in the hotel business, and they'd been stuck there. So he calls me, and I tell him the whole idea of our gourmet smoke sessions. I tell him what we're doing on the show. He's like, man, I'm 100% in. He goes, this is great. He goes, I'm very familiar with your cigar brand. He goes, I'm a big cigar smoker. And he's like, I've actually been interested in doing, he goes, some stuff like this with cigars. He goes, but I didn't know how to get a hold of anybody in the cigar business. And the same way I was, he's like, I didn't want to like outstep my boundaries. He's like, but like, he goes like, the Padron family buys stuff from us. And he's like, I didn't know how to approach them, or I wanted this. And he goes, so it's so great that you mentioned this to me. He goes, this is awesome. So they joined on to be part of our gourmet smoke session. So what we're going to be doing is 16 events over the next 16 months. It'll end in February of 2022 with a grand bash, essentially, a culinary bash. But we're starting this Thursday at Two Guys Smoke Shop in Salem, New Hampshire, and it'll be broadcast live on the Cigar Authority. And the whole concept is an in-person and virtual cigar broadcast, live broadcast. It's like doing the Tonight Show, only with beef, food, drinks, and cigars. And it starts this Thursday on the 29th of October.
Sounds amazing. At
Two Guys Cigars. And I said we'll have one each month and through February of 2022.
Fantastic. So you're going to cook everything right in there on the Blackstone?
And I'm cooking. Yeah. So this Thursday we've got, this is the No Bull broadcast. Well, it's actually it is the Bull broadcast. So we're smoking our Andalusian Bulls. Mm-hmm. We have a special cigar that we've made for each of the 16 events. So every event will have a special cigar. The menu will change each event. I just finalized the menu for our November session today. And we'll have a different menu. And the unique side of it is our viewers and guests can actually purchase and cook along with us during the show. So the live broadcast is a cigar symposium per se. Lito Gomez will be joining us on Thursday. But throughout the whole broadcast, we have a special grill cam. And the people that are joining us can actually prepare the items along with me on the show, so it's instructional at the same time. Or they can go back and pick it up after and prepare it on their own. So it's interactive for people that can't make it out to the store. It's very interactive for the people that are here, but the people at home will have the same opportunity to get the same food that we're preparing here. And Meat and Bone sends that to them. And the package that they receive has everything they need for it. In there. So tomorrow, I keep thinking it's tomorrow.
Like a HelloFresh, but with meat.
So on Thursday, we're doing
so cool
40-ounce prime tomahawk ribeyes.
Oh, yeah.
We have Mediterranean smoked sea salt. We're doing a drunken Italian cheese, and we have a jamon serrano, which is essentially like prosciutto. So we'll have a charcuterie station here. We'll have a cheese station, and then we'll be serving tomahawk ribeyes in the back room here. And then the people at home will have the same exact food, so they can prepare along with us. And
are we invited to this? Is there supposed to be an audience?
Ticket at an event.
Okay.
Sold out.
What? Oh, we're on the guest list.
It's sold out like the next day.
Apparently not.
Oh, these things don't last.
Ben, thanks for the heads up, Ben. I blame you, Ben.
So,
damn it.
Since you guys aren't feeling the rest of it, you're being very polite. Thank you very much.
Oh, no.
I'll take them.
I'm just waiting for you guys to finish so I can lick this whole thing.
So it's bringing everything full circle. So if you can't cook at home, or you're scared to do this or that, or you like the way the steak looks, but you can't make it look that way, you can cook with us and enjoy what we're doing. And it's 1 hour long, and everything we prepare is made to be done in an hour. And the only thing you'll need is utensils to eat with and some sort of fire. And then you can prepare what we're preparing. So we'll be doing different sessions, and there's all sorts of different cooking techniques we'll do from week to week. This Thursday, we'll be doing a Blackstone session. Our test session, I cooked on charcoal, which is what I prefer, jumbo lump charcoal.
Okay.
But this session will be on a Blackstone griddle. But during the process, I'll talk people that are cooking on propane, people that are cooking on charcoal. I'll explain to them when they should flip, when they rest.
Yeah.
So at the end, you'll have a perfectly cooked, medium rare tomahawk ribeye. You can enjoy the cheese and enjoy the jamon serrano while you're cooking, and pick up your favorite beverage and pick up your favorite cigar from Two Guys. But yeah, this is very first one. It should be a great time. It's going to be a big launch for us. It's been 6 months in the making. So we did a test run in September, and it went really well with absolutely no marketing at all. We just did it. So we suspect this will be a big success. And I said the cigar is different each session. So hopefully the people would like to join us from session to session or jump in for different sessions for meals and menus that they appreciate and that they're more interested in. But there will be a special product made by La Flor Dominicana for each of those events too that are exclusive just to that evening, and we'll be launching that. The first session cigar will be cigar 1 of 16 on Thursday.
Nice.
Perfect. So where can everybody pick up like this package and find the show and everything?
Don't worry, Ben. I don't need the words for this. You can buy the package at the package of cigars at 2guyscigars.com. The number 2 guyscigars.com. There's still some packages available on there. The official No Bull package sold out quite quickly, but there are still LFD cigars available on there. And the night of the Cigar Authority broadcast, so the broadcast of the Gourmet Smoke Session for this session will be on the Cigar Authority. Subsequent sessions will be on Hacking Gourmet YouTube Live. But you can actually join us on that session, and we'll be presenting and launching the cigar that evening, and you can purchase that cigar through 2guyscigars.com. And then the food packages are available on meatandbone.com. So meat, the letter N, bone.com.
Got it.
Perfect. Well, Jonathan, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing the food, bro.
It's time for dessert, guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
The the dessert, I think, should be a private moment. So
We've tortured the audience enough with our ASMR chewing.
that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find us at Pit Life BBQ on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And
Hey, check me out, The Barbecue Broker, on Instagram, also Facebook, and check out our awesome group, New England Pit Masters, on Facebook and Instagram as well. That's all I got.
perfect. Questions and comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. You guys are fantastic. Once again, thank you and welcome, Uncle Steve Shake.
Yes, Uncle Steve,
Great.
baby.
By the way, I'm definitely going to pick some up. This is great stuff. Really changed it up.
His whole lineup is phenomenal.
It's
so
fantastic.
It's a game changer.
But until next week,
Keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.